Welcome everybody here. Finally, I'm back. We made it to Ferrum Heights number 6, the beautiful podcast bringing you guys Pokken info from, Pokken info, dude. All Pokken stuff you guys want to know. How are all you guys doing? The classic crew is here today, and of course joined by this wonderful man on my something. I believe it's right.
I think you're correct. Yes, this is right. Yeah.
How you guys doing today?
Doing well.
Doing all right. Doing actually kind of sick, kind of dying. So hopefully that's not too big of a problem.
Hopefully not. How about you, my man, Allister? The man, the myth, the legend himself.
Greatest Pokemon player in the world.
Just happy it's Friday. I got to begin the weekend. It's been a long week. We've all been waiting for Blastoise's new update as well for a while. So finally here. We all get to have fun this weekend. So.
Oh yeah, we'll be talking about the big turtle boy himself here in a little bit. So, before we hit all this new shenanigans that just released in the wonderful world of Pokken, let's break down what's been going on in the tournament life. Let's talk about some players. Let's talk about some tournaments. I know we had a couple big ones here recently between February to into March-ish. So, take it away, Mins. I know you had a lot of information there. What were your thoughts on the last couple of tournaments that happened with this?
Sure. I don't know. We had a lot of. There weren't a ton of new events, but the events that happened were pretty big. We had the two first qualifying events of World Circuit of the Oceania in Australia, Sydney, Australia, and the Spring Fist that just happened this past weekend. And so, I guess the main story of both of those, more or less, is Japanese domination, really. Even though one of them, non-Japan, all 4 slots are taken so far by Japanese players.
And Elm continues to be the world warrior. Oh, there's a regional up in this area to qualify? I'm gonna go to that.
That's the way you gotta do it, my man. You find somewhere to qualify and you go there. I respect that.
Yeah,
respect that. I know we've had a couple players kind of peek their heads on up. Again, Allister, you had some things to say.
He's dreading the comeback of Suiken Masters.
There it is.
The man, the myth, the legend. He always retires. He retires as many times as Miyazaki, but he's always back for more, and always almost wins the event he comes back to. Dude, just came out of nowhere. I think no one really knew he was coming, and then just shows up and gets third. Plays matchups he's literally never played before. Wins them the first time. This man's crazy. This man is too good. And now he's actually training.
Are we talking about Allister now, or are we talking about somebody else?
No, we're talking about Suiken Master.
Oh, that's what I thought you were saying. I was like, wait,
yeah, let's talk about Suiken Master.
But okay, yeah, Suiken Master.
I mean, Allister is good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I was so confused. You're just sitting there, just taking it, yeah, I guess. Okay, yeah, Suiken. So that makes sense. Everything makes sense now. Yeah, Allister, when are you going to tournaments, my man? Where are you at?
It's been a hot minute since we've seen you on one of these lists.
I know, but it has been a while, but I've been pretty busy. I'm looking to enter an LCQ and hopefully snag one of the few spots to qualify for Worlds.
LCQ, not actually the
yeah, you can make
nationals?
the internets.
Columbia?
I looked at my schedule and I don't think I would be able to, so I'm just going to be shooting for the LCQ.
Alright.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
And then, let's see. Well, the Japanese qualifier, or sorry, it's not Japanese qualifier, even though the players came from Japan. Though I guess to be fair, Midori was born in Australia. He was not a Japanese raised. But the Spring Fist, however, these names weren't as known. The two people who actually, or I guess the one, right? Yeah, it was just one qualifier for Spring Fist. Correct? Am I right?
Yeah.
One qualifier Spring Fist. It's 2. Then there's a 2v2 next month on arcades. And then there's another event in June for Japan.
Oh, that I didn't know. I thought Spring Fist was top 2, but it's only one.
Yeah, just one. So that means it's just Suboten?
Yes.
Yes, there's Suboten who qualifies. And he's not... He hasn't gone to any out of Japan events, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, not that I know of.
He went to Evo Japan, and he went to Kanto.
Those are not out of Japan, but...
Oh, out of Japan. No.
You sure Evo Japan was in Japan? Can we get confirmation here?
I'm not convinced. But yeah, no, that's pretty cool. That's like I'm not gonna say like our first new face, because obviously Midori is not. He hasn't qualified before at any other season, but like this is the first time Midori went to. Was Midori a final boss? I wasn't there, so I don't
he
know.
He was.
That's what I thought, right? So this is like our first like new player that's gonna be able to be traveling and competing in the Worlds. So that's really cool. You've met him. What do you think about him, Allister? Suboten.
Well, he's a very confident kid. He believes strongly in his skills, and yeah, he's just very, very confident, and he can definitely back that up. You know, he's a very talented player, young, really fast reactions, great matchup knowledge, and solid fundamentals all around. So he's definitely a threat to any tournament he attends, and he's been solid for like a really long time as well.
Right. It's pretty crazy though that Tona-sama was still like. This man doesn't go to events, and then he'll just randomly show up. He's like Suiken Master. He'll just randomly show up and like almost win or just win.
So I thought because he got second, LCQ was saved, but now that I know he's not qualified, LCQ is still in danger.
Allister, do you have the inside scoop yet? How many people? Do you know how many people are planning to go invade the LCQ?
I don't know.
It's two spots this time. It's going to be even more of a bloodbath.
Wait, only 2 people are going to qualify for LCQ?
Speculation.
Well, I mean, unless
speculation.
Unless there's repeat qualifiers in, I guess, other events. I don't know, because I don't think there's any Japanese players traveling to nationals, right?
Not that I'm aware of right now.
Oh my god!
But we do have some players coming to the U.S. for a special event.
Oh,
that's all I'm going to say.
All right.
So we may see a surprise appearance from a couple of Japanese players.
All right. I guess we'll keep our eyes open.
Okay, keep our eyes
the young inside scoop, the invisible scoop from Allister.
I was just thinking that
viewers, you better get. Oh, sorry. Continue.
No, I was thinking that they haven't really traveled to anything in the U.S. yet this year, at least. So to hear that's actually coming is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Final Boss was the only tournament.
I just want to let the viewers be warned that you're going to have a lot of cryptic hints coming from Allister today.
He's a cryptic man, this Allister guy.
Be prepared for a lot. Don't be expecting a lot of straight answers.
Nah. None of that here, my friend. But I know we were talking earlier, we wanted to highlight a North American player that's been kind of up and coming these last couple of tournaments. Have we talked about Thanks a Lot yet?
Not yet.
Let's talk about him, my man. This guy's he's been doing really well. I know he's been around forever. I've known the guy. I mean, I think I met him at the first Evo of Pokken, or the first I think I met him at Evo. He was a Smash player or something. But I remember meeting this guy the same time at Mutator. He's been around forever, man, since way back in season 1.
Yeah, he was. Thanks a Lot was at Nationals 2016.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of picture stuff.
Did we? I think me and him placed the same. Actually, we both placed 5th. I think at that event. So yeah, no, he's been around forever. It's just like he hasn't been able to go to that many events, until sort of halfway through season 2.5, I guess you could call it. And now he's just like tearing it up every event he goes to.
Yeah, what was his most recent placings for this past couple of months?
Well, this leads us right into the other 2 big events that happened since the last podcast of Winter Brawl and Final Round, both getting 2nd place at both of them, which is crazy. Losing both times to Twixie, who was also a crazy good player. Insanely consistent. Both these players I know we've talked about in the past of just insane amounts of consistency and just being able to always be top 8. And Twixie, one of the only 3 players to actually be able to defend his championship, defend the title. It was Suicune Master at CEO. I want to say there was one other one that I'm forgetting, and then Twixie at final round, able to take 2 feet. And Twixie can never be.
Go ahead.
Twixie can never be dethroned now for final round. It's the last one.
Oh, really?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
They call me Raps.
As far as we know so far. Maybe, I don't know.
Well,
I was there final round in
Never know.
2017. 2017 was insane. That was like the big thing happening. Twixie, they taking out Suicune Master, and he took out Swillow like in the same bracket, and they made it to Grands, and then fought. Was it Zyflare that got second in 2017? Crazy.
Such a weird.
Also, shout outs to Char. That guy was, I think, top 5 in 2017, and now he placed 3rd this year.
I think you're correct.
Final round as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that guy just came out, and I remember he had the coolest pop-off of all time in 2017.
I remember Swillow retweeted that pop-off every day for a solid 3 months.
Dude,
It
that's
was amazing.
awesome. That's awesome. It's the greatest thing, man. But either way, yeah, a lot of consistency coming from these players. Final round, an amazing circuit. Sad to hear that it's gone. See, that's news to me. I'm a little sad. But that's okay. You're right. White took out Suicune Master. That was great. That was an even greater pop off. Never mind. That was I don't even know what to talk about. It was okay. Either way, consistency in players. So speaking of consistency in players, we had some discussion earlier about this change within the top 3 players. So technically, by points and by definition, Twixie has the win to claim what may be the first slot. As far as players not being able to make it, as far as the rest of the top 3 within Pokken, how much do we think that truly reflects the player skill? Do we think that Twixie really has surpassed Sleeping Bug in consistency and tournament play? What are you guys' thoughts here?
In terms of consistency, it's kind of hard to argue. The thing is, like, Slip, of course, hasn't been traveling to events since Frosty Frosting, but all the events Twixie has been to, barring NEC, he's won them all. So it's like, I'm pretty sure, since, like, Frosty Frosting, all the recent one he's won, all the ones he's gone to.
Wow. It's the hair, man. It's the hair.
It's the hair.
Yeah, and then the question now goes to, where's Sleeping Bug? When's he coming back? We got to get that inside scoop. We got to find this
his next event.
I don't know.
DreamHack Austin for sure. I was trying to see if he's trying to go to another one. I think he mentioned NCR. I don't know if he's going, but I know DreamHack Austin.
Expect to see Sleeping Bug at NCR because he definitely wants to defend his title.
That's true.
So that's going to be really amazing.
Yeah,
NCR started as just like a side event, and now it's just quickly growing to like a super stack tournament. And we haven't had confirmation of Twixie going, but
Slip is that would be a little hard. That's across the country for him, so
yeah,
he is East Coast, which I actually did not know until recently.
Wait, Sleeping Bug or Twixie?
Huh?
Sleeping Bug or
Twixie? No, Twixie.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I'm like,
Sleeping Bug I know is Texas.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
he lets everyone know that at every chance possible.
Yeah, like that's Twixie is not going to NCR. Oh, that sucks. But either way, yeah, I would love to see Sleeping Bug back in action again. I don't know how he's doing with the new characters. I don't know if he's picking them up. I know he's been such a stickler to staying true to his old Libre. We've seen some switches when Sceptile came out. The first SCR, we saw a lot of switch. We saw Snippin' Bug.
He did go Scissor, but I don't think he's ever going Scissor Bug ever again. That was like a one-time thing.
Snippin' Bug is gone, you think?
I don't know. Slip, he whipped out Scissor against Elm.
Yeah.
I was about to say, except maybe that matchup.
And just like quick 2-0.
Yeah, he still thinks versus Suicune.
He still has it in his pocket.
Yeah, like Suicune and Sceptile. Scissor is still like a decent pick.
Yeah, and speaking of other characters, he's also, been rocking the Decidueye, as we saw at Frosty Fostings.
Yeah.
He's dominated, with the Decidueye, showing his knowledge.
What's the
maybe bringing out
on
the penguin
Decidueye nowadays?
He's
good.
People are figuring stuff out about him to be the point where it's like maybe he's not as crazy, or maybe now we have like, relativity. We've now seen Aegislash and he's nuts, so it's like maybe he's just like he's just comparatively like less crazy. But I think people are kind of mellowing out on their opinions of Decidueye. I think the nerfs, the changes were more buffs than anything from the Aegislash patch. So he's still a really solid character though, insanely solid. But I think people are saying like maybe not top, like not the best characters. Some people were maybe speculating.
He's still definitely one of the best. It's just like eventually the counterplay comes down with him is like the fact that he's so based on being in the air, and like anti-airs and Pokemon are so good, but it's like at the same time, it's just he covers himself so well when he's in the air that it's like it's not as much of an issue for him as it is for like others. Yeah,
and he doesn't kind of. One thing that I've talked with a few people about is like Aegislash, oh not Aegislash, Decidueye. Like once you get, sorry, I was looking at the footage on the stream which has Aegislash. Once you get past sort of like some of the knowledge checks, like he doesn't necessarily have a lot of like jank. I hate using that term, but don't have like a better thing for it.
He doesn't know, man. Rising jump Y on a tall character.
It's good, but it's still like not unbeatable.
It's something special, that's for sure.
Like but there are like ways to deal with it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You're not gonna get like randomly cheesed out by like some crazy stuff, like his dual phase grab dealing 150 damage base. God, I hate Aegislash sometimes. Anyways.
All right, so we're already here talking about Aegislash now. Let's now transition in. Anybody else want to talk about summon from the past tournaments? Any big characters' names we want to talk about before we move on to the
we can talk about
characters?
Pikachu rising up from the ranks. I think like every event. I don't know about Oceania, but every other event had like a Pikachu top 8, right?
Yeah, we had Kuki at NEC, Kino at Winter Brawl.
And then we had
Final round.
Yeah, Jada 7 final round, and then Paris at Spring Fist. So this character starting to get some results, starting to put in some work. I think people might not be able to just say he slept on anymore. People can't be like, oh, he's a good character, he just doesn't have results, therefore bottom tier. Nah, he's good. People got to learn the matchup. But yeah, I think that's sort of like the last thing.
So, one other thing I would say, it's also nice to see older players coming back, like Bim came out to Winter Brawl and was close to top 8. Then actually seeing, it wasn't on stream, which, okay, something we didn't put in there, but one thing about Winter Brawl that I hope will like be fixed in the future is like the pools. Like we need, I guess it's Pokken small, we don't get as much entrance as others, but it's like the startup was like we had 2 pools. We had more entrance than games that had 4. So that was kind of weird. And
Winter Brawl had like what, 70 something players, right?
Yeah, I think around like 74 if I'm not wrong.
I think it sounds about right.
And like that was more than like Blaze Blue, but Blaze Blue had 4 pools, and we had 2. So like the pools were kind of nutty. But besides that, like in pools there was Catfight versus Bim. DreamHack Austin, the first qualifier
that's a
was played again.
Right there.
But it was like we just had to be locally recorded and then put up on
I mean that's what happens when they happen. They haven't gone to events in so long.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Shoutouts to Kid Fight.
Who won that? Who won Bim versus Catfight?
Oh, Bim did.
That's great.
It was definitely a good. I think it was 2-1 if I'm not wrong. It was a good match. I remember watching it, but like, yeah, it was. It's just like one of the things that is unfortunate that where we are, where Pokken kind of relies on other tournaments, but other tournaments don't see Pokken as like a big event. They see it as like, oh, this extra thing we'll have to support you. So like we miss pools being streamed or things like that.
Yeah, kind of sucks. Like
it's okay though. We're working on it. We'll get there.
I mean, that's something I kind of would like to talk about maybe at a later date. Is the importance of being on like a good stream, like an actual like not C tier stream.
That is very important. Like I was thinking, which event? So okay, final round, top 8, still for Pokken top 8, still got like 500 people. Like that was very well watched, and I was honestly I was surprised. But the stream had like 1,000 followers, so it definitely was not the stream it was on.
Yeah, but then,
it still got the full...
you look at Spring Fist, it's at what 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Anime Illuminati, 1,000 viewers at like a horrible time. Yeah, because that channel has a well-known stream.
Yeah, I think people just
like people will watch it.
People hard underestimate because I see this a lot of times. I don't want to tangent too
and that's
much.
Not even including like Japanese viewers on Twitch.
What's on
Twitch Japan?
Oh no, yeah, it was a Twitch event. You're right.
So that had I think close to 1,000 as well. So like almost like a total of 2,000 people. That's like really good.
See, people like underestimate the level of like when you put it, even if the game isn't popular, but you put it on a stream that is, like more people will watch it than not. Like even this past NCR, Pokken still, I mean, it went down from the past game. Pokken still had like 3,000, 4,000 people watching it, and a bunch of people that didn't watch Pokken that were waiting for some other game were watching. It's like, wow, this game's pretty cool actually, and it's like you expose new people to it. So just like something that hopefully more will happen for us in the future.
Yeah, I mean that's of course the biggest thing is I mean our whole reach comes down to how many people within the community are reaching out to other people. Of course, that's going to be your main source of people playing the game, watching the game, and then how many times do people accidentally run a stream? And I know personally, like I started speedrunning Super Mario 64 because at 3 a.m. I accidentally ran into Clint Stevens, who's my favorite Zelda streamer, who was happening to stream Mario 64. And because I just happened to watch this guy for no reason one night, I was like, that looks really freaking fun, and I want to do that. Like, that happens all of the time with video games are like that. People see something's fun, they see something's entertaining, they see a community surrounding it. Like, we have all those things. Our game is fun, it's being updated, the company now cares about us, we have... Pokemon Company reaching out to different people within our community, not to name any names, and like, I don't know why you guys are laughing. Be serious here, guy. And so there's a lot of things happening for our community. So when people that don't know anything about us look in, they don't see anything wrong with us. They're not like, oh well, these guys have terrible support. They never have updates. Like no, we do. Like look into us for 10 minutes, and we have all that stuff that good games have. We just don't have 1 million people following us. So I guess that's all we really need to hit with that point is, yeah, I absolutely agree. I think anyone else will agree as well. The bigger name streams we can be on, the more the word of Pokemon will get out. And now that they're releasing character after character, God, I mean, I don't know why, as an outside viewer, someone looking on this wouldn't be like, wow, wait, my favorite Pokemon, Blastoise, is now in the game. Speaking of Blastoise, let's talk about...
Bandai Namco hates water types.
Bandai Namco hates water types. Yeah, what are you guys' first impressions? And maybe the chat can tune in. We'll read off a couple of the comments there as well. But what are all your guys'... No, wait, this way. Your guys' opinions on Blastoise and this new patch update that just released pretty recently?
I'll start off, because maybe I have one of the more neutral stances on him right now. I think Blastoise he's like a really different character than what like anything else we have, which I'm surprised they're able to do in terms of like figuring out like a different kind of zoner, because he's like a heavy, big body zoner grappler hybrid kind of thing. And we just don't have anything else like that, and I think that's super cool. And he's got like a lot of weird tricks, like he's got like that shell fortress stance or whatever. And then he could go into and just like mix up and like bounce around in a shell. And like, I think he's really cool. Not my kind of character, which I'm a little sad, disappointed at. Definitely not a character I'm going to drop Shadow Mewtwo for, but definitely like a character I would like to play against. Like I feel like he'd be fun to play against. Like I don't think he's going to be like overbearing or like super cheap, but I feel like he's going to be fun. What are you guys' thoughts?
I'm on the opposite side. Well, I guess there's no opposite from neutral, but like I don't know, like playing him.
The other option.
I mean,
he feels like I don't know. He's just like I play him. It's like I'm trying to sit. Like I said when we were talking about before, it's like I don't really get his combo structure yet. For me, when I play a new character, that's a big thing for me. Is I want to just like play and figure out combos and just like go nuts with the character. I've seen stuff on Twitter recently, so it's like moves I didn't understand before. I'm seeing how I can fit them in more, so I'll try it again and see what I think. But like right now, he feels kind of not very combo based. He's got some stupid Oki stuff where like bubble setups and traps are like really cool. Also, that bubble lasts way too long. But it's like he's like some pretty funny stuff that he can do and get away with. But it feels like, as I look at him, it feels like a character that was meant to be in field. Like the fact that 5A and all the versions of it except for Aura Sphere, none of them shift, so he can just like keep hitting you with damage. And then if he hits you with Dark Pulse, it's a hard knockdown. So then I can set up on that and stuff like that. So like that part of him is interesting, the field side. But I feel like so much of Pokken is in duel and not in field. So like, to me, that's so weird, and I haven't really thought about it, got my head around it yet. So like, he seems really weird, I guess. I'll put it that way.
Allister.
What
do you think?
Blastoise is hella sick, dude. He's one of my favorite Pokemon, man. He's super cool. Like, everyone's already in love with this model. Like, his animations, and people are making memes and having fun with him. Yeah. And, he has great particle effects. And, I don't know, I think he's great all around. And, some people may have, like, they're trying to find the weaknesses, but I think it's more important to find the strengths as well. And we've seen a lot of, like, Twitter tech videos of people just putting in work on Blastoise. Like, he has really strong pressuring from mid-range, and he has great Oki options as well. And people need to start like utilizing this, explore as many options as you can. He's also like a cancel-heavy character, So I encourage people to explore him more, and he's just awesome all around, And from like a developer's eyes, it's really hard to implement a Pokemon like Blastoise, And I honestly think they did like a fantastic job, If you leave it to me, I'd probably like just make a brick or something, but they did it, and it's so fun. It's so satisfying doing all of his combos and just lugging his body around and shooting these crazy like things out of your cannon and just like floating in the air. It's awesome. I love it.
All right, so we got the neutral, the opposite neutral, and the he's really cool opinions. And from chat, we got Blastoise is good. Not bad, and then a definite top 23. So the cool thing about new characters in this game is that we had so many speculations when the game first came out. Who's the best character? Everyone was talking about Charizard being number one. Not everybody. There was always like talks of Charizard being the best. There was talks of
there were talks about Charizard being trash. Charizard was trash. Garchomp was trash.
Mid-tier.
Braixen was trash. I remember this. I
remember Braixen was trash because he had a guy that came to Wednesday night fights. I'm gonna call you out. You're not gonna watch. Fampy. This guy would literally come to every event. And he's like, I played the worst character in the game. What am I supposed to do? Man, I played freaking Braixen all day.
Don't worry about calling him out. The man who was commentating pretty much every single Pokemon like TPCI event, DC, was like, propaganda.
The Braixen name was like, my character sucks. This is why I'm losing. Like, no,
the character was winning Evo, and he was like, this character is so bad.
Dude, I remember T-Loke. Yeah, let's go way back. I remember T-Loke was talking to NFK, No Face Killer. And he was like, dude, this is all you gotta do to beat Braixen. You CADC forward. And that's it. Like, that was the big thing to kill Braixen, was that you CADC past all of her stuff, and then it's a free win. That's what everybody said about Braixen. Dude, were we wrong. So the cool part about new characters releases, just play the character, get into training mode, get online, do something, get a LAN party, tell your friends who've never played Pokken before to play Pokken with you, and try out Blastoise then, man. Like, find things for yourself. Don't take anyone else's word as the truth, because nobody knows if Blastoise is good yet. Allister thinks he's hecka cool. Mins thinks he's good, and we got McDareth who says he's an opposite neutral. So, so who knows?
That's the feeling.
I think my the big prediction I have with Blastoise is that I just don't think that a lot of people are gonna. He's like not the kind of character a lot of people are gonna pick up like right off the bat. Kind of like Empoleon. Like he's gonna have people that like to play him, but I don't know how many people are actually gonna end up like maining him and like bringing him out and busting him out in tournaments like they have with Aegislash.
I mean, that's the thing with characters that release. Like, it's not that their skill floor is high; it's that we don't even know where the floor is yet, so we can't see the ceiling.
Yeah.
You know, one of those things where until someone figures out even where the skill floor is, how the character works, what it does, we'll never ever understand the potential of it. So the more people just dismiss the character, the worse it is. So if any of you guys out there would love to see your boy Blastoise, just make sure you're always talking about the new characters with positive light. That's how you get people interested in playing the character. The more people we got like Allister saying this dude's hecka cool, the more people are going to be interested in playing the character. I, for one, am super excited about Blastoise because I've always been an OG Pokemon guy, Gen 1 all the way forever. So any Gen 1 Pokemon that's ever released, I'm going to be all about that. So that's my only thought of the matter is that who freaking knows how good he is, but he's got cannons on his back, and that's cool.
Yeah. Allister, do you know, does this put Gen 1 back in the lead for most representatives in playable Pokemon? Or is it still Gen 4?
I believe it's Gen 4 still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I need my boys. I need my Gen 1 boys. But anyway, so then now we've already kind of talked about him, but to avoid talking about it too much, what's the deal on Aegislash, man?
No, Aegislash is a fun character.
Let's talk about this thing. He's fun. All right, that's a good start. Characters love to be fun.
He, in my opinion, is slightly overtuned. I think he has just a few things that are just like too good. I wouldn't say he's like overpowered or anything, because I think he does have very clear weaknesses and like he's pretty hard to play, to be honest, and play effectively. Like, I feel like he has a pretty high skill floor and ceiling, so it's like it's really hard to fully see how good he is, I guess, until people really start mastering him. But like, just off the bat, like some of the things he has is like really good. Like his low stance, for some reason, avoiding highs and lows is just like weird. It's extremely powerful. The fact that his like low jabs will clash with DPs. Like, there's like a few things that I think just could be like tuned down just a little bit, and I think he'd be a perfectly fine spot. But yeah, he's good. That sword's good.
Like where I talked about Blastoise, like maybe just like Blastoise is not the kind of character I play. So like I didn't really like. I was enjoying figuring stuff out with him. I was also enjoying testing stuff with Blazing and Stance because I'm weird. But I was trying to figure stuff out with him. But like when I played Aegislash, it was just like, okay, this character's actually he's also my favorite Pokemon, so I'm biased. But this character's actually a ton of fun to like figure out. Oh, this is how this string works, and look at all these just frames. Look at this damage. I didn't even know till after Winter Brawl and talking with Twixie that when you do the switch 8 times to get the double buff, it improves Fury Slashes to be like 200 damage raw. It's like. And I just didn't know that until he like told me that. I tried it. It's like this
character is like, I can't imagine this character being like convenient. Like this character is gonna be like a commentator's nightmare, having to explain like all the small like. And now he has like this passive, and then that passive causes this passive to do this passive.
Oh, like, I loved it when I was
7 lines of like
at Winter Brawl. Twixie picked Aegislash. I was so happy. It's like now I get to just geek out about this character for a bit.
Dude, I've like run down in my head like, how would I start? Like, to a new player that has no idea what this character does, how would I even start explaining everything he does? It'd take a solid 30 minutes.
Just gotta use that break time between rounds, you know, go back on a go back to a
take
top.
Advantage of that.
Here's the classic, the Pokken, like, waiting, searching for an opponent.
Oh, yeah. Searching for Aegislash information. That's what it should say now. Searching for Aegislash. It'd be like, yeah, he's got swords, kind of. It hurts.
Kind of.
That one did more damage than the other one. There you go. That's Aegislash in a nutshell. Alrighty, and then that's cool though. I mean, the good thing is that we're getting new characters, whether they're broken or not broken. We have no idea. I mean, how long has Aegislash even been out for?
2 months now.
A little over a month.
2 months now. And we've seen him how many times? I know we talked about a couple players bringing him out. Twixie, of course, brought him out against typically Sceptiles. We saw above us earlier, thanks a lot, versus Twixie with the Swept Power
both times.
So tournament play wise, What kind of attention has Aegislash been getting? What kind of placements in the beginning? Obviously, Twixie did win that tournament playing Aegislash, of course, as a secondary, as a counter pick. So do we think Aegislash will begin rotating into people's main characters? Do you think it's not a character that's like that? Does it have really obvious bad matchups? Like, what kind of characters is going to be, you think, tournament play-wise?
I think the thing, well, the way I feel about him is, when it comes to matchups, so characters have full screen, like, piercing moves. He struggles. So, like, Aegislash versus Shandy is hard. One, because 2 full beams breaks your shield, because his shield is very bad. So, like, winning field as that character is just hard. And then 2, it's because a lot of your stuff is you want to get into shield mode so you can start your own pressure. But Shandy can kind of prevent you from doing that. Even things like doing an Oki with Flash Cannon can get hexed. So it's like stuff like that where that matchup is kind of hard to, like, really get around. So, like, you probably need a secondary for that one. I personally feel like when he's pressured, which I think is fun, to be pressured as him, maybe not playing against him. It's like when he's being pressured, he has to kind of commit to something to get out. Where other characters, like, you can maybe DP or you have something that's just a reversal. His best thing is his parry, which, because of the way parry is, if someone waits, they can wait for you to just throw a parry and then punish you for it. Or they can just use a projectile instead and you can't parry it. So, like, it's interesting, like, the counterplay there, because then if you projectile, then there's space for you to King Shield instead and, like, get out that way. And just, like, I don't know. I feel like if a character who pressures him heavily, if you're not good at reacting to what the opponent is doing, or if you don't know the combo packs the opponent will take, he's going to struggle.
My opinion, I'm not really sure we'll see him, at least in the United States, too much. Like, I don't think people necessarily, like, drop their character and go full-time Aegislash. I could see people picking him up for, like, counter picks. Maybe a couple people just maybe some people picking him up to cheese a few people out, you know, like a couple Empoleon picks. But in Japan, though, I know like a few young players actually, like Lydia and Haruyuki. They're starting to pick up Aegislash, and they're probably gonna play him full time. I would imagine. Like, I don't think, because I know Lydia specifically was sort of having a character crisis. He swapped from Shadow Mewtwo to Decidueye, so maybe now he's getting more comfortable with Aegislash, and he got pretty good results at Spring Fist. And I think, like, those are going to be the players who are going to be able to do it, the ones who, like, didn't really have a character that fit them, and, like, now they have this character and they're going to go full time. I think the only thing is, like, how much will we really see of them, because they're, you know, in Japan. We'll see, like, there's a good chance that, you know, if they're able to really, like, get the character down, they might take a few big names and maybe even qualify at the June Japan event. However, I guess the thing, though, against that is, considering the event next month is a 2v2 on arcades, they can't play him, you know. So
it's still weird.
Kind of unfortunate on that side. We'll probably end up not seeing too much of new characters at Worlds. Probably might just be because of that. But whatever. Any thoughts on the character, Allister? You had to learn this character in, like, a week and a half to show him off at EGLX?
Yeah, so I knew about EGLX ahead of time, so I want to showcase Aegislash, right? And when I was picking up Aegislash, it was just so hard for me to grasp at first, right? Because I picked up a lot of characters in the roster, right? And it was much easier to learn. But when I picked up Aegislash, I noticed the learning curve was much higher, much higher, you know? And you had to have, like, a lot of awareness and be familiar with his properties and stuff, and just be able to react with all of his options. So I respect a lot of Aegislash players for picking him up and stuff, getting down to the books. But in terms of tournament, it's hard to tell if we're going to see more Aegislashes or not in the future. But what it really depends on, in my opinion, is who's willing to break the ice. Now, when a new character comes out, you know, high-level players, they'll be like, I've been dabbling with this character, but I'm kind of scared to whip out this new character in tournament because it's tournament. I should just use the characters I'm familiar with, you know, because I'm playing to win. And that's why, like Twixie, I really respect Twixie because he whipped out Aegislash. You know, he was willing to break the ice. And when a player like Twixie, a top player and a player that's adored by many, when they break the ice with a new character, that can inspire many people. And that's extremely important to me. That's extremely important because that's what gets the wheel rolling, you know? That's what gets the gears turning. You know, more people are like, wow, look, Twixie did all this cool stuff with the Aegislash. He got this far, and he's a good player. Maybe I can do it too, you know? And the more people get into it and start learning collectively how to play Aegislash. And then that's what can cause us seeing Aegislash in the future for tournaments.
Okay.
That's fair.
That's fair. Yeah, it's sort of a kind of part with like my thoughts on like who are the type of people that pick up new characters for actual competitive tournaments, or like the ones that it's the people that are not really like they don't really they think their current character is like not doing too hot and like maybe doesn't fit them all the way, and they're kind of looking for something new, so like might as well just try out something different. And then there's also the people who are like they can't stand a certain matchup, like they just hate it with one character, so they just like, this is not going to work out anyways if I go with this one character, so I'm just going to pick something, try it out, see what happens.
Yeah, that's
I think
me.
like yeah, it's like I know like a good amount of people who like they just hate a matchup so much they're just not willing to even like they'll just try anything to win it. So you know, and I respect those people.
Definitely tried Aegislash first versus Obscure because I was certain he didn't know how to play against it. So I was like, yeah, let's try it.
Dude, knowledge checks are legit. Dude, Aegislash is literally knowledge check the character. Like,
I think what's cool about him because it's knowledge check on both ends because like he rewards you so heavily if you know, like if like you know like Garchomp's doing like a pressure string or this person doesn't like the grabs, okay, I'll try parry next time. Now it's your turn to start. Or like even with perfect blocks, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's gonna be hard because like the fact that parries on block, there's certain things like Blastoise is homing attack. If you homing once, it's single hit, you can perfect block and then CA the second one. So Aegislash could maybe perfect block and then parry or stuff like that. Just like figure things out that way.
You should get a blast. Yeah, no, that character is so much potential. Like as I was saying, like the skill ceiling on that character is insanely high. Like,
which is good. We need that. Yeah. I liked what H2 said. He's the Yoshimitsu.
Yoshimitsu.
Yeah,
that's actually a good way to put it. Yeah,
that was a really good comparison. I like that. So I mean that's character I played. So I appreciate characters that you don't just pick up, have your 3 options and go. It's a lot of understanding what's really going on and not just what's the good mix-up. It's like, how do I even press these buttons and how do I even begin to create a new neutral game? Characters that have like almost multiple neutral games is kind of like the cool, interesting, super high skill level character. Because it's not just like, okay, run around and wait till I'm spaced out perfectly to hit him once. It's a lot more involved with that, and I love characters like that. But either way, there's a couple other things released recently with Aegislash and Blastoise, actually. The new supports. I hear there's some Celebi tech going around nowadays. What are you guys' thoughts on Celebi here?
Celebi is such a weird support.
I think it's so cool.
So weird.
It's like it can swing so hard because like the thing about it, like I thought at first, okay, it just wins the phase. Maybe that's kind of bad because then people could put you in dual phase, like, oh, I don't want to be here, so Celebi, and we'll just go back. But then I thought about it, it's like, well, not only does it swing the phase, you win the phase. So in dual phase, you just get synergy, but in field phase, you heal. So to me, that's like, okay, I should just pick Celebi for a lot of people because it's like if you're a character that loses health and you can get in a situation where like, okay, on your wake up, I'm gonna call Celebi. Now they're forced to just take that and you go back, you heal, you get the synergy, and now it's like swung again. So it's like it feels like it can either be a win more support or it can be a good way to get out of a bad situation if you don't know it, like if you're not sure what's coming next since it's a disrupt support.
The thing is, in my opinion, like I'm so torn on the support. I'm so torn. Don't like on one hand, like yes, it's pretty powerful to be able to just like win a dual phase, call Celebi, instantly win that field phase for using your support. But on the other hand, is that enough? Is that worth your support slot for just winning a field phase.
I think
one field phase after a dual phase.
I think it depends on the character.
Like it feels so conditional.
Because I think about it as Blaziken, right? So if Blaziken wins,
you can use Cresselia for effectively almost equivalent effects.
I think Cress isn't as good, in my opinion. I don't think Cress is as good. Because the thing is, like, okay, you can heal a bit with Cress, but if you still lose that phase, you still lose whatever recovery HP you didn't win. You didn't get back. But like with Celebi, you can both win the phase and not spend more HP. So like you now, okay, you spent your health either chipping or winning dual phase, whatever. So you lost some health. You call Celebi, that now just gives you the phase, gives you the synergy, especially in some Pokemon where he's going to struggle.
The thing is, you can't. Okay, I think the thing people are sort of looking at this wrong is like people keep saying like, oh, you use it to win the phase. Not really. Because you're not going to use it like in neutral, because then you can just run. You can run away from that free. It's not that big.
I think if you put them at a wall when they're have to get up, then
on wake up. But then effectively, it's the best way to look at the support is what most people are probably going to use it as. It's a phase points reset with a heal and synergy. It's like if Cress kept you like reset phase points for both players effectively.
That's fair enough.
Like, because it. But it's so conditional. It's like really conditional that happens, and technically, okay. I figured it out earlier. Like what my real thoughts about this was. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys willing to take a shield break if you have no meter?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't lose anything, right? Getting hit by Celebi is exactly that, but better. Because you do not lose meter if you have any. You are +8 or more if potentially even punishable if you do the tech I just found, which is weird. I won't get into that. But you're potentially like better frame advantage after the shift. And you lose nothing for getting shifted. So it's like, because it doesn't do damage. And that's my biggest like issue. It's like you can pick a support that gives you healing or like will give you healing and like help you in field phase and help you win field phase like Togekiss, and it will be helpful in other phases and other areas, and you'll still be able to win the phase. And it's like, I don't know. I just don't think it's enough.
I get your point, but to me, like the guaranteed win, and then like, okay, it doesn't deal damage. It's like the same thing where people are like, oh, I don't want to block for his Blaziken because blocking doesn't deal damage to him. Well, it does because he's solely hitting himself. So then the Icy Celebi is like, okay, it didn't damage them, but I healed. So the effective health just changed. Because, like, I just guaranteed myself a win on the phase and swung it that way.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it does enough for how conditional it ends up being.
Okay, so here's another way I think about using it, right? So there's Garchomp. If you're in the corner, and Garchomp, a lot of Garchomp strings, eventually you're probably going to jump. So then that's a chance where, when that happens, you can call Celebi, because you can't really counter-pierce you during that. So it guarantees that now you're forced out of the corner, Garchomp is pushed away from you.
Wait. But continue.
Well, even if you're in the corner and field, it's still like, I feel like the ability to just switch it. Like, Celebi is basically a reset. Like, whatever situation you're in, except the fact that you win whatever phase you're in, it's kind of like you call it and it resets what's going on. So, like, the ability to do that on command, I think, makes the support worth it, in my opinion.
Okay. And here's my second counterpoint that I brought up earlier. If you attack, that I found this out just like a few hours ago. If you attack into the armor frames of Celebi, it becomes punishable on hit from field to duel. So, if you, like, because for some reason you're stuck in the armor frames, and you just, like, can't block after it for some reason. After the phase shift, while the other person can act and potentially hit you. And depending on like the amount of depending on a lot of things I haven't actually figured out yet, you might be able to get like different punishes at different ranges with different things, but like it is not necessarily safe on hit. Even if you do use it as like a reversal, like they armor into it. So it's like you potentially could be like using it as like a defensive option seems like even worse. Because it's like actually gets you killed.
I don't know. I guess I gotta try it more and see more situations. But personally, like, because as someone who's like, I wish there was like more supports that did like different things. The way Celebi is and the way it works,
I think it's a great addition to the game. I think it's like one of the best support additions to the game, just period, just for how crazy of effect it is. But do I think it's good enough to be top tier? To be like
we'll find out now, won't we? See, that's again my interjection will always be I have no idea until it's been out long enough for us to figure it out. Of course, I can see both sides. Having the ability in any fighting game, like on McDareth's side, to just be like, hey, I don't want to deal with anything right now. Reset absolutely everything, plus heal me a little bit. That's pretty powerful. But if people start finding the downsides, people find that it's actually not safe on hit or whatever it is, then that's where you can now start picking the supportive art. But either way, we'll find out in the future. And of course, the most important part is how relevant will it be in actual tournament play. You can lab it all you want and find the exact situations that work, but how often those things actually come up. But either way, I feel like we kind of hit all the good points for what's new. Welcome back to Updated Pokken. Now let's get to some of the community topics that we've been discussing here. And then we'll end on a real positive note and about our boy Allister over here, who's been doing some good things. Talk about what he's done, and we'll
good fight.
We'll see what he'll say. But the most recent thing that's happened that has not to do with any characters, and it's a community-based thing that maybe to bring it up right now, maybe get some ideas from for everybody, as well as just get this topic out there to the public. The whole NCR community vote situation that happened. To start, basically what happened to spark the whole thing is Zyflare talked to the main TO over there at NCR, and he really wanted to make sure Pokken was included. Of course, we're reaching out to the TO of a big event, amazing thing. We can't thank Zyflare enough for all the stuff he does for the community, as well as, of course, other people involved as well. Basically what happened is there was a fundraiser that's Zyflare said, if we can raise $1,000 for the pot bonus, he would personally fly out 3 players to go over to NCR, and his idea was that he wanted to be community-driven. He wanted the 3 people that don't often make it out, or the 3 people that the community wanted there. Who did the community really want to see at NCR? That's who Zyflare was going to make possible to get there. That's a sentence, I promise. So that's the gist of the idea behind it. Now, what actually happened, there was some discussion on the process itself. Before we get to the process, of course, I want to congratulate the winners. Thanks a lot, Kino and Mitchell. 3 guys that have been within the community forever. We've already talked about Thanks Watt, up-and-coming player. I'm really excited to see him play over there in NCR. Kino, of course, been around forever, been a caster for everything. And then Mitchell, literally, I follow Mitchell on Twitter, and it makes my day most of the time.
Mitchell had the frame data of Blastoise already and done in 2 hours after the DLC dropped. This man's a legend.
Yeah, and he's not even just memes. I love him for his memes because I love memes. He's also, but within the community too, he's crazy. I probably am going to NCR. I'll get back to you on that one, Sunday Muck. I would love to. So those are the people who made it there. So now, of course, there was controversy within the community, how it was run, how it was set up, what the process was. Let's get into that a little bit more. Who wants to take the reins here?
All right. So a bit of the things that popped up around it. So some discussions happened. People were like, okay, so the people who were winning at the time, or people in the community said they never heard of. So that idea of it's a community-run event, but then these people who aren't as big in the community are winning. So what's going on? So people looked in and saw a lot of votes came from outside. Even the people who won basically came from outside. But it's Pokken's kind of small, so it's an open voting thing that's kind of bound to happen. That brought up as an issue. What is that?
Yeah, what?
That was Allister. That's okay. Either way.
But either way, people are so the big thing about the reflect on this is if the votes, then the people actually donated to get the pot bonus, to get the flights actually to happen, because it was an incentive if the pot bonus happened. The people who donated, if their voices were basically being heard with the people who were then chosen afterwards. So there's the big things that basically came up as issues during and discussion while the voting was going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's another thing that you can kind of there is a way to effectively tell what votes were from outside of the community was more or less because the way the voting system worked was it was a single transferable vote. So you put a list of like who you'd want, who's your first choice, second choice, up to like what, 6?
9.
Was it actually 9? Jesus.
Dude, there's so many people.
Yeah, it was really in depth. So it's like effectively it meant so like once your first choice was like out of the running, your vote would go to the next person, and it'd keep doing it until it had the amount of winners it needed. Until like every vote was effectively counted for all 3 winners, and then, but the way you'd see it was from out of the community was effectively for these people, they would be voted for on every single place effectively, which meant nothing. It was just counted as one single vote. But people from outside the community didn't tend to realize that, so they just put the person because they didn't know anyone else in the community, and so that's how you could see like some people had like 80 something votes from just like other people. And that is my dog. Sorry.
Dogs are great.
My dog did. Yeah. Fortunately, my dog voted for no one.
So then, how can as a community, like, you know, obviously the community itself didn't create the poll, but like, you know, in the future, because I mean, I think the idea of flying the people out the community wants is a great idea, but how do we regulate while still being anonymous, you know, the process of getting the people that the community truly wants out and represented? There's no bias of region, no bias of anything. How do we really find out who the most talked about player is within just a community?
Well, Allister, I'm sure you've talked a lot with Zyfler about this. What are your thoughts on the matter?
To be honest, I didn't really speak too much about it with Zyfler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know, that was the process he preferred. You know, that's when he started. I do definitely have my own opinions, though. So there's kind of like 2 sides of the coin to this kind of thing, you know. And the reason this was controversial is because, you know, of outside help, you know, in terms of voting. So you can see this in like 2 different lights. You know, there's number one, it's fine that we get all these outside votes because it brings a lot of publicity to Pokken, and it can help promote Pokken, our players, and NCR, as well as just, you know, the Switch in general. And the other side to that is, it's bad because then literally anyone can win, you know, and the voice of our community is just gonna get diminished by all these outsider votes. You know, it's a community-run event, so shouldn't it matter to us the most, not these outside guys?
Right.
And there's great points to both, but there can be some alternatives or solutions. And in my opinion, I think the people who donated to the pot should have the most way in terms of voting, because this wouldn't be possible without the guys who voted. I mean, who donated, you know, in the first place. So the more you donate, you know, the more votes you get. I think that's initially how the system should take off, and after that, it's all about, should we vote for the people who don't get to travel out to tournaments as much, or should we vote for the top players who can make the tournament really entertaining and have really great sets, or should I just vote for my friend, you know, or should I just vote for this guy I just saw on Twitter? Like, that's another part of the discussion too, you know. And in my personal opinion, I think should go to the people who don't have as much opportunity, you know, because there's people out there that have like really great skill, you know, contributed a lot in terms of online and remote, but they just don't have that like kind of finance to travel out, you know. And to me, I think that should be like the first priority. Those are the players I think that should go. And similar to like the Smash Summits, you know, I've been following Smash Summits for a while now, and a lot of the times, you know, when they get like nominated and stuff, they create like a little profile, like, hey, I'm this player, this is why I think I should go, you know, and then they will try to like sway you or convince you why they should get your votes, why you should vote for them, you know, because for all we know, some player can just come in and like, hey, I'm trying to go, vote for me.
I think there were like some people who were like, I think a lot of people have like literally never heard of, like even like the people like who are community heads I've talked with like just did not know who they were.
Yeah.
So it's like Some sort of introduction video would have been probably helpful.
Yeah,
just there's something that go ahead. Sorry.
Players. Yeah, and yeah, I think if all these things get taken into account, I think it'll be like a much smoother transition in the future if we decide to do this again.
Right. Yeah, I know there's something that 2GG did for all of their big events. It's more Smash related. Is they would get like a list of behind the scenes. They would get like a list of people that they believed were the people that don't get opportunities. And what they'd do is they'd take a handful of people and they'd put profiles up and they'd say like, if this person hits $100 donations, we fly them out. And they release them in like sections of like, okay, here's the first 3 people that we can do. If we get these 3 people, then we'll start another one for another person. Instead of it just being like, oh, Zypher is going to fly 3 people out, which of course is incredible. We could do something different and maybe try something different like how they would do. I mean, of course, we have a smaller community, so it'd be harder to get bigger numbers for flight tickets. Mm-hmm. But if we also have someone supporting, like this exact situation, then it's a way to, of course, reduce costs for Zyflare and for whoever might be, the guy trying to fly people out. And in this way, we set up profiles for like each individual person, exactly like Allister said here. Just give them a second to tell them who they are. Because maybe someone doesn't know who Kino is, or someone doesn't know who ThingsFlawed is, or someone doesn't know who like Combo is. Like, there's no reason not to know them if you follow the scene really, really closely. But maybe they just for some reason didn't watch the streams that person was on, or they didn't follow whatever that person was on. So having profiles for every person can at least let people track back and go, oh, okay, this guy is someone of our community. This guy is someone I should look forward to. And then so maybe something like that even we could implement. But the point is, I think the biggest problem was that everything was super unmonitored, and everyone's voice inside and outside of the community was pretty much just one and alike. Didn't matter who was. Everyone was unnamed for a reason, of course. Being anonymous is important. But like having no poll of saying, I really want this person there, but my vote can't mean any more than just I want them there. That's kind of the only input I got. But what about you, McDareth? Do you have anything?
So Allister mentioned the summit, and that's always the thing I compare it to, because it's like my biggest experience with this from the Smash side is from watching the summits, the Smash 4 boot camp, and like the general compendiums they've been doing. I hate that they use that word, but I won't go into that. That's a different topic. But so like my big thing is that I worry that if we go too far into the donation side, to play devil's advocate there, which I think people who gave money, you definitely should get more votes. But I think we go too far into like the whole summit way of like you have to out-donate the person below you to get in. And then it becomes a more thing of like, then like, because the Summit and Smash 4 Bootcamp both did this. It starts being like, this is my credentials. This is why you should vote for me. Like, it starts being like that and starts going to, vote for me, I'm gonna eat a raw onion on stream. Like, stuff like that. And that's like just a straight different area. And I just like, dislike that side of it. Because like, it's cool when it's there to help people, but I feel like when it starts going to like, I guess let's call it like the circus part of it of like, I'm just gonna start saying I'm gonna do random things. I'm gonna wear a chicken suit like XX did if I get into this. It's just like, once it gets to that part, I think it like, maybe that's good. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe that's like, for me personally, I don't like it, but maybe that's good. Maybe like more people pay attention to it because of that stuff. But like,
yeah, whatever brings the hype, right? Can we get someone to do that? Like, regardless of anything, just someone eat a raw onion on stream.
Just get Frankie Sisto to do it. Sell the hell out of that. He got like an article on like a SRK or something about like his promo that he cut, and then immediately going 0-2.
Nice. That's the way to do it.
That's how you reach out.
All right. Well, I think that covers most of that community topic there. Anything else you guys want to hit before we move on to the next lighter subject?
I just want to say that thank you everyone who supported this drive, and especially to those who like donated. Very kind of you guys, and humongous shout outs to Zyflare. He's so generous. You guys have no idea. He's very selfless, and he's flying 3 people out to NCR, our side tournament. And now it's going to be like a super stacked tournament thanks to him, and to all those who donated and promoted and shared and did campaigns for their friends and really try to put a positive light on their players. Like, thank you all of you guys.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. Well, then, without further ado, Allister's already taken the stage, so we're going to give it to him a little more. For those of you guys who might not have seen or known, Allister recently was flown over to EGLX to play in a Pokken DX event against a bunch of YouTubers, of course, as well as, go over there, be a face, be a personality, and kind of enjoy the convention itself, and, of course, spread the good word of Pokken. So, Allister, my boy, how about you talk a little bit about how this opportunity came to you, talk about the tournament itself, and just general thoughts of EGLX as a whole, as well as your time that you kind of spent there over... Where was that part of Canada, right? Which part of Canada?
Toronto.
Toronto. There you go. Tell us about Toronto, my man. What happened?
So I was just working one day, and I got a message from Nintendo. They're like, "Hey, what are you doing during these dates?" I'm like, "Uh-oh, am I in trouble or something, or what's going on here?" I even tried to Google these dates. I'm like, "What's happening on these dates?"
You're quitting Pokken.
Hey, do you just have a contact on your phone, Nintendo, just on speed dial?
Anyways, so they hit me up, and I'm like, I should be free. I can make that time more flexible if you guys want. They're like, okay. And then they told me about EGLX, and I'll admit I wasn't too familiar with EGLX. I've heard the name, but I wasn't too sure exactly what it was. I thought it was like an anime convention or something to do with video games. But then I looked it up, and it turns out, yeah, it's Canada's biggest video game convention. We have our E3, we have our PAX, they have their EGLX, and it's really big. It's really big, And yeah, I'm like, sure, I'd be down to help out. What am I doing exactly? It's like, okay, we can do a media tour. You can do a little event at EGLX, and get to do some cool stuff with fans and players and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, sure, I'm down. And so it was really hard keeping this a secret. But I think a lot of people were like, oh, okay, we know it's Allister, who else could it be and stuff. But
this
yeah,
hidden pro.
Yeah, it's like Pokken Pro. It's like, yeah, that's Allister.
Yeah, it was cool. My first time in Canada, I flew over there, and it was extremely cold, and I enjoyed it. I got to meet a lot of the Canadian players. I've never met a Canadian player except for Jess and Sheer, because they came over here. It was my first time in Canada, and I had a fantastic time. Everyone was super nice. I met Greg, Smash Steve, Lavi, and they're just fantastic people, very welcoming. And when I get there, I had to go to sleep right away, because the next morning I had to wake up at 5 or 6 a.m. to be on pretty much what Good Morning America is to Canada. It's like Good Morning Canada. And I woke up. I was a little nervous, but I knew it was gonna be fine. I'm there to talk about Pokken, Nintendo, and how great they are. And I go there to the news station, and it was amazing. It was such a legit studio. Everyone was so busy, but they're also happy, loving their jobs. And then I didn't have much time to prep. I was there in my jersey. The game was there. They set it up. I'm like, are you ready? Are you ready to play? Are you ready to talk about the game? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And it went great. The interview went great. I was on Canadian national TV, and I was there talking about EGLX, talking about Nintendo, talking about Pokken. But the thing is, because it was more of mainstream media, it wasn't catered to video game players of that sort.
Yeah.
I had to be more generic and not as specific, So I had to explain what Pokemon was, Nintendo was, and why Pokemon was great, And it sounds a lot harder than you think, but overall it was cool. I was just staying fast. Did you guys know Nintendo Switch was the #1 selling console in Canada? Video game history.
Hardcore show.
Yeah, it was really fun. And everyone there had a blast. I had a blast. That was cool. And after that, I had to take an Uber straight to the radio station, and then I had to go on Toronto's #1 radio station, and then I got to talk about Pokken there, and promote Aegis/and Blastoise. And the guy interviewing me was really cool, because he was familiar with video games, and he played Street Fighter and stuff.
Oh, did he?
He was totally all about Pokken, so that was a great conversation we had on the radio. And after that, I took a little break, and then I had several phone interviews and in-person interviews. Some were filmed, some were over the phone and internet, stuff like that. And it's just a really busy day. But overall, I was just pretty much trying to bring Pokken DX into the light,
Do you know if any of those interviews or those radio shows were like recorded anywhere? You could like listen to a recording of them.
Yeah, I'm sure it was, and I can probably find it and post it on Twitter or something. Yeah, I'll definitely get to that. But yeah, my goal pretty much was to.
The people deserve to hear your beautiful voice.
Is to promote the Nintendo Switch, all its fantastic titles, and why Pokken DX is just such an awesome game that we enjoy, you know. And I gave small plugs about our community and our Discord, which is really cool. And yeah, so the day after that was EGLX, right? The Canada's biggest gaming convention. So I get there, and this place was humongous. It was actually like really huge. Like I don't know if you guys have been to like Evo, but it was like as big as Evo. Like it was a huge hall. There's just so many people there and so many things to do. And Nintendo had a booth too, and there was a lot of people just playing Pokken and trying out, a bunch of kids, a bunch of adults, and
I saw that photo of you and that little kid.
Yeah. So many people want to try it because a lot of people are like, "Whoa, what the hell?" Like I just heard about the Switch and there's like a Pokemon fighting game. I'm like, "Yeah, dude, check it out." A lot of people lined up for that, so that was awesome. Yeah, and for the main event, it was what it is a bunch of personalities and YouTube stars and stuff. They were gonna be in a single elimination tournament, right? So they're all duking up against each other, and some knew how to play, some didn't, and it was hilarious because all of them were commentating as well. They all had mics, and a lot of their fans were in the crowd, and I was there to defeat whoever won that tournament. I mean, not defeat, but played. And this event especially made me happy because there were so many people watching because it was on the main stage. They blasted the music. You hear Pokken, you hear the music, you hear the hits, and everybody and their mother was just watching. I took a video and I posted on Twitter, and there's just an ocean of people just watching us. I'm like, this is beautiful. This is amazing,
One question. Was it Pokemon or Nintendo that contacted you? I forget. Sorry. Did you mention that? Was it Nintendo themselves or was it Pokemon? Or can you not say?
We'll say it's Nintendo.
Okay.
And, yeah. And so, yeah, it was a great tournament. They had a blast, and a lot of people were just there to watch their favorite YouTube stars and just to see what the commotion was about, right? And it was great because they handed me the mic a lot of times. I got to commentate, explain what was going on the screen in like a more simple level, And I talked about Blastoise and Aegislash, and everyone's like, "Whoa, that's awesome! There's new Pokemon in Pokken," and it's like I haven't heard about it since the Wii U. Now it's on the Switch. I love Blastoise, stuff like Mew and Celebi as supports. What? And I told everyone to get it now. It's only like $15. It's DLC, but they did a special promotion in Canada. If you buy a Pokken DX, you get free DLC. Free DLC. It's amazing. So a lot of people pick that up.
This man's professional.
Yeah, and then
you hear how seamlessly he just put that in there? No wonder they ask you to advertise that game.
Yeah, and eventually, I got to face the winner of the tournament, right? One of the YouTube guys, and I shut off some Aegislash, I shut off some Suicune and Mewtwo, and we had a blast. But I pretty much stomped him because they were showing casual play, and I wanted to show some high level play to maybe inspire people. Whoa, I didn't know this game could be that crazy or that cool. Whoa, look at this long combo, look at all that damage, And it definitely hyped people up. I was doing combos, and everyone was just standing up, clapping, popping off, and it was amazing. And he was being a good sport about it too. So we shook hands, and then we hugged, and then he got a free 2DS XL as his prize. And that was pretty cool. And then everyone was just asking all the YouTube stars about Pokken, "Oh, Pokken, I didn't know you played Pokken. What's Pokken like? Should I get it? Blah blah. You're gonna make videos about Pokken?" They're like, "Yeah, it's gonna be cool." It was really amazing. And then at the end, they gave me the mic, and pretty much the way I signed off was I talked about competitive games and why it's fun, why you shouldn't get frustrated when you lose. It's about growth, seeing your development as measuring how far you get and stuff. And it's a fantastic game. Everyone loves Pokemon. Everyone loves Nintendo. Join our community. We have a fantastic community, very welcoming. We have all these resources. We're there to help you 24/7. And yeah, everyone was just super ecstatic after that. And then after that event, there was just a small mini event where they're like, "Oh, you get to challenge Pro Allister from SDX in Pokken tournament in the best of one." And then, to be honest, I didn't think many people were gonna do it. They're just like, "I don't want to face that guy," or "Oh, I don't know," stuff like that. But then I went there to the Nintendo booth, And then I looked at the clipboard. There was like 10 pages of people.
How long were you there?
Dude, I think I stood at that booth for like 3 or 4 hours. And best of ones. Best
That's
of ones.
stressful.
Yeah, it's so
How many
long.
did you lose though?
Probably like a third of them.
Oh, come on. You're supposed to say none.
Oh.
You never know.
Because like there are people there that actually knew how to play, and it was a pleasure playing them, and I beat them and stuff. But then when it came to like the kids, like the younger folks, they want to, like, oh, he's a pro. I wonder how I'll fare against him. Maybe I have a shot at this game. And I would like make it close. I'd get it to round 3, like, last of our life and everything. And then I'll take the knee. And then just seeing like the smile on their faces, just like, oh, I did that. I'm like, yeah, you did, dude. You beat me. Like, how did you do that? I can't believe you did that. Did you play this game before? Stuff like that. And they just had this huge grin across their faces. Like, Pokken is awesome. I love Pokken. Like, Mom, Dad, can we get Pokken? Like, we already have a Switch.
That's so
Like,
wholesome.
yeah, that's awesome, And then they're like, can I take a picture with you guys? I'm like, sure. We all take a picture together, and all the kids just loved it, And they're the next generation, so I thought it was really important because they're going to be up and coming, and then they're going to be looking to competitive play. And after all of us old kooks are going to retire, they're going to take over. And I think it was especially important too because it was in Canada, where they don't have as much Pokken visibility as we do here in the States. And so, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I just sort of have one more question for you, I guess. In your opinion, do you see yourself more as, I guess, a competitor of Pokken or sort of like a spokesman of Pokken? Like, what do you see yourself as? Something I've actually been curious about myself is sort of like, because you do compete at all these events. You're on, STDX. You travel. You're sitting in the DX racer. Only for professionals. And so that you're also doing sort of this stuff for Nintendo and Pokemon. So I'm just curious about your mindset, like where you are in between those two worlds, or how you see yourself.
Well, it's a great question, Vince. And I've been asked this before, but by like very few amount of people, just like close friends and stuff, because they too were curious. And personally, like my number one priority is just to have fun, right? That's the first reason I got into the game. That's the first reason I want to meet everyone, form all these friendships, and go to tournaments. Is because I want to have fun, Because after high school, I moved away, and I was away from all my friends' stuff, and work was like becoming a drag and stuff, and I wanted something to look forward to, and Pokken was it for me. So it was always my number one priority. And in terms of being like a spokesperson or a competitor, I'm leaning. Back then it was like half, maybe a little as a competitor, but nowadays definitely it's like maybe 75% spokesperson, because I get happy when other people like join the community and start to learn and make friends, and just seeing their happiness makes me happy, And I truly love this game. It's done a lot for me. It brought me a lot of joy. I've made a lot of great friendships and met great human beings and been to amazing events. And the game's done so much for me, I think I should do as much as I can for the game and our community as well. So that's my number one priority. And tournaments, competing, placing, PR, money, all that stuff is like my second, third priority. When I go to a tournament, I don't expect to like top 8 or anything or win. I just expect to like not go 0-2 or,
Yeah, I
and
remember
just
that.
maybe have like a time.
I remember that Genesis. When we at Genesis, someone asked, "Yeah, you're gonna win this tournament?" I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not really trying to use my secondary." It's like, wait, what? I was so surprised when I heard that.
Yeah, like I'm just there to support Pokken, I'm just there to support Pokken, meet up with friends, and show everyone how cool of a game it is, And if I win or if I get top 8, that's just icing on the cake for me. That's truly how I see it. If I get like second place and I was so close to winning the tournament, I'm not gonna be like, oh man, I'm so salty. I can't believe I lost this guy. I'm gonna regret it for the rest of my life. I was that close to victory. No, I'm not about that. I'm just there to have fun.
That's a great answer.
Respectable.
Okay, I have another
community
question.
man like
Alister.
Go ahead.
So you
No,
talk
dude,
about taking the knee versus Nairo at E3, games 3 and 4. What happened? I just want to know. Like, it's even what's up in the air. Did Nairo win? Did Allister just like give him a win? So game 3 and 4. What was up?
We'll just we'll just say
Nintendo behind the wings with the flashcards, like lose now.
We'll just say that Nairo definitely knows how to play the game, and I enjoy to see people's surprised faces, and I enjoy to see hype revolving around Pokken. And if that means some tweaking here and there has to happen, you know, I'd let it happen. I didn't make it happen. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is, you know, if cool stuff can happen, I hope for that cool stuff, you know, to happen all the time. And you know what I'm saying?
Can happen.
Allister,
Hold on. Cool stuff can happen, and I hope cool stuff happens all the time. Allister, 2018. Somebody quote that. Put it on his tombstone. Sorry, continue. I thought it was beautiful.
That is, that's a perfect way to end that.
So what happened with Allister or Nairo? Well, you know, cool stuff happens, and I like when cool stuff happens. Got it.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Nailed it.
I understand. Us, I mean, yeah, I like that. I mean, go talk to the guys that created WWE, and they'll tell you that
Cool stuff is cool, man.
sometimes you just gotta create the hype, man, and I appreciate that. But what was your final thought, your last leaving point you have about EGLX? Of course, we got some good attention for Pokken. We got the community name out there. People got to see your face, and people got to see the game, of course. What are your final concluding thoughts on EGLX? Would you go back? Was it a fun experience?
I love Canada. I made sure everyone on Twitter who was following me knew that I love Canada. Such an awesome country. If you've never been there, you should. The Canadian community is great. I wish we can shed more light on them, and that's what I'm currently trying to do as well. Meet your Canadian players, you know, get to know them better. They're actually really great people, and they're great players as well. Also, yeah, EGLX was a great event too. I'm trying to go back next year. I'm trying to return because that was just an absolutely great event. I loved it. Everyone there was awesome. It was very eventful as well. And in the past weeks and our upcoming weeks, many of you guys can notice who are watching, we're starting to get an influx of new players. We're starting to see new names. You look on Discord, you see on Reddit, you go on Twitter, you know, you see a lot of new players. And oh, what's else going to say? Cliche stuff like, oh, welcome to new players, you know, be nice to them, show them resources. It's like, yes, but what's more important is, like, when you joined the Pokken community, what was your experience like, you know? Was it awesome? Did you make new friends right away? Did people welcome you? Did people point you in the right direction? Or was it not that great? You didn't know what to do. You were confused. You're a little shy. You know, you were scared to talk. You know what I'm saying? So just be that player that you want to be, you know? Just be there for them. Make sure you know how to point them in the right direction. Just be friendly, be open, be welcoming, and just make them feel like they don't have to be a stranger.
Fun little fact.
So important.
Fun little fact about sort of new members. The community Discord got in the past 2 days, if I'm remembering correctly, because I checked the past couple days because I wanted to see before and after the DLC drop. They've gained 200 members. Past 2 days.
Yeah, ridiculous. And that's just on Discord, right?
Yeah, that's just Discord, which is like not even the entire thing. Like,
it's a fraction, man. There's Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, so many other things. Random forums that I've been like stalking. People who are talking about Pokken Tech there. I'm like, what are you guys doing here?
Yeah, there's like completely like isolated like communities. Like
yeah. It's nuts. But yeah, if you happen to run into a new player, you know, just do the best you can and just, you know, be a good player and just welcome them.
And another thing that Allister kind of talked about without talking about is if you are going to play with new players and you're not strictly just teaching them new things, if you get in a lobby with somebody and you're trying to teach them how to play Pokken, Roxo, I'm looking at you. I know you're not going to listen to me, but players that aren't Roxo, don't just destroy everyone all the time unless you're purely sitting there and telling them everything that they're doing wrong, and they want you to do that. There's a very, very, very big, like me, like what I did when I played Pokken a million years ago, Like I would literally get in the lobby with like Sleeping Bug, and they would just beat me. Like I think if you check my Pokken record online, I'm like 2 and like 80 because I love that, and I will let you beat me all. It's only like online friendlies. Like just play me, beat me, tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'm cool with that. A lot of new people that are joining communities, a lot of new faces, maybe new to fighting games, they hate that and they do not have fun, and it will turn them away. So if you are going to be welcoming, of course, with information, be supportive there, and if you do play them, you know, sometimes going easy is not a terrible thing. Letting them have wins, letting them feel that childish feeling that, of course, you know, Allister had the kids feel, the big grin on their face, like I beat a good player. It's a good thing to have, and I'm gonna make a shout out to Wizards because I'm pretty sure he did this to me, whether he'll admit it or not. I played in an overheat tournament, and I either took a game from him or I took him to round 3 both games that I played him. And this is when I played the game for like literally 2 days. And this is Wizards like right before his prime. Like, I'm not that good. And I was playing Pikachu. There's not enough jank in the world that can accidentally win you games. So, like, doing the good thing, sometimes taking losses for people who are just starting can be a good thing. And of course, the information is the biggest draw to new players entering communities. And that's kind of all I got about on that topic. Because I know I'm now the leader of a bunch of board game communities. And I used to have a habit of introducing people to I used to have a habit of introducing people to like games that aren't out yet, and then just destroying them. And I would always talk about how like I'm like 68-0, and I'm like, wait, there's a reason no one plays me anymore. It's just not fun. So of course, be a good sport every now and then. And if someone truly does beat you, never ever ever fault it to being a mistake that you made. Just point out all the good things, make sure that they understand they're playing well and they're getting better. Because just saying stuff like, oh, you beat me because I forgot something or I pressed the wrong button. No one wants to like finally get their first win and be like, oh, they're making it obvious that I just messed up and that's it. So anyway, that's all I got on that. Really cool experiences. Glad to see you traveling out more. I look forward to seeing you out and about in more places than just Canada. You're going to make it worldwide, my friend. I'm waiting for Allister, the worldwide Pokken player of the century. Is that your goal?
That's the worldwide.
The worldwide superstar. That's the man himself.
I just wanted to have fun, and I just want everyone else to have fun, too.
I like
cool things.
There you go. All right, my friends. So we're going to be moving into the last topic of discussion here before we do our final tournament announcements and move on with our lives. So the big thing that I might actually say more words about besides, yeah, I agree, is, yeah, exactly. How is the release of Super Smash Bros. For the Switch going to affect the eye on Pokken? I think this is a great topic.
Oh my god.
And I'll hit my points very briefly first, and then I'll have my interjections, because something that Pokken did not have a lot of was, I mean, when it originally came out was, first of all, they didn't support the Wii U version, which of course was our biggest thing. So, and the only reason anyone would ever own Pokken is if they already had a Wii U. But now, Pokken already exists before Smash. It was not that way around. It wasn't that way with the Wii U. So now that Pokken exists, it's been existing. It's been around since, God, when was SCR? A long time ago. It's been out for a while now. It's not the newest, hippest thing anymore, but people don't have Switches yet because the only thing they really want to switch for was Zelda and whatever. So maybe as far as the Super Smash kids go. So now the people that are looking at the Switches and they're now saying, yo, dude, Smash is coming out. You can literally pre-order Super Smash today. Like, you can buy the game right now. Like, people
have no idea when it's coming. So you
yeah, you don't know. They said 2018, which probably means 2026. Nobody really knows. But what we do know is it is coming, and Pokken is already here. So this is the time that, as a community, we need to figure out, do stuff like what Allister's doing. Talk to just your friends that don't know Switches yet. Like, man, like, Smash is coming out. It's going to be here. Pokken already exists, dude. Like, we're already here. We're already kicking. We already have a community. So not only do we already have this kind of, I mean, Switch is a big console. But now that we're going to have people buying Switches for Smash Switch, like, that's going to be huge. This is where we really need to tackle the Smash community. We need to find community tournaments that are already linked with, you know, like 2GD or linked with the big Smash guys. Because if we can have big merge tournaments, I remember when when Smash first came out, 2GG ran like a Pokken side event, and it got like 180 entrants for no freaking reason. Just because like it was just a bunch of Smash players that
really
sucked. Yeah, maybe not like
I never knew about that.
It was like 80. I exaggerate, but you know, like that's a huge turnover for Pokken, just because people were already there playing Smash, and they're like, sure, whatever, I'll play Pokken, I guess. And then they did. And I remember like a lot of the top players from Smash did really well. Remember Ingbad? If you guys remember Ingbad from SoCal, he was just a Smash player, but he dominated the SoCal scene in Pokken just because he picked up Pokken, because he knew it like within the Smash area. So stuff like this is now possible that we have 100% confirmed Switch Super Smash Brothers. Now those guys are going to be buying the Switch. I think it's going to be huge. Somebody correct me if they think otherwise, but what are you guys thinking? Because I'm really excited about this like new same console Switch Pokken idea.
That's like the big thing for me is like something I always wanted, which kind of didn't have early on. I was kind of sad about is like Pokken to be at more Smash events. It's like if Pokken TO's in the area, like if you could hit up the Smash TO who's running events, like and can have maybe extra systems or whatever, or to see if we can get a side event set up where people bring their own system. Just because like if it's there and present when you're on the same console, there's good crossover. Like a lot of people who played Smash early on played Pokken. Maybe they didn't stick with it, but they still played the game, and they still have if they have like a following who watches them, then they talk about the game, their following gets to hear it, so that gets more people seeing the game. So like that crossover is really nice. So like that's why I was so happy about Genesis having Pokken there, even though like it was okay. Genesis was like the side event of side events, but like it was still present there, so it's still like a start. So like that's something I wanted to see happen more often. We kind of didn't get that. And then like yeah, like you said, there's more Switches at events. Like that's the biggest thing. Is like events like Biggie does a lot for us. And I really like Biggie's a cool guy, and I like Biggie events, but like the bring your own console days for Pokken should be dead at this point. All these events, like, you have to have Switches. If a Smash is going to be there as a tournament, you can't expect all these people to bring a Switch. They're probably not going to. Is that gaming generations will have Switches that they can bring now, so then it's more reason to have it that way. Like,
I mean, I guess the counter argument to that was like, oh, Smash 4 was going to be at every event, so they'd have Wii U's, and that wasn't always the case, but it did, like, it made it a lot easier, I think, for TOs to sort of bite the bullet to, you know, invest in some Wii U's, because I know they're going to get it, you know, multi-use from, and not just Pokken.
Yeah.
And, like, I know for Biggie, he also does, I think it's like his events, he always has ARMS, and they always have pretty solid numbers, so he's really supporting them too. So, like, having now 3 games on the Switch for, like, each, I imagine each will have like a pretty solid separate audience. Will like really sort of make it again less of a bullet to bite for TOs to have to actually invest in getting those setups, in getting those Switches and games, and like making it just easier on us, the players, to actually be at those events and play and get our stuff done. And yeah, as you said, like crossover is awesome. Like there's gonna be so many new people probably for the Smash, you know, buying a Switch because of new Smash, and they're gonna look at what other games, you know, they're eventually gonna be like, what other games does the Switch have? Like, oh, there's other fighting games, Pokken. Well, I like Pokemon, you know, like it's new
classic,
new people. Like this is gonna be people's first new Smash Brothers game, right? Like, and that's gonna bring in tons of new people for other games. So maybe they'll stay, maybe they won't, but like. I just see it really as a positive, because I don't think, like, I think the main thing some people were saying, like, or fears they had about, you know, Smash being coming out is like, oh, well, everyone's just gonna leave the community. If this community was made of people who just would leave for Smash, it wouldn't exist anymore. You know, like we wouldn't be.
That's
here,
true. Right.
You know? So it's like we're here, we have the community, and now I think we kind of have more of a community to be able to keep in some of those people who do, cross over, like see what's good, and sort of keep them in the community without them necessarily just like leaving instantly. So we'll see. I think it's amazing. I think this is a great thing for us.
What about you, Allister?
Yes. What are your thoughts?
Mr.
Nintendo versus himself.
I think about this a lot, and I've thought about it even before Smash came out on the Switch, because it's like, is it a scary thing? Is it a good thing? What can we benefit? What are we going to lose? And I always like just have these thoughts to myself, and I don't really talk about it with anyone else. But I guess I'll talk about it now. And I think the future of Smash on Switch correlating with Pokken is going to be really tricky. It's going to be really tricky and interesting because, like you guys mentioned, we were able to get Smashers to Pokken on the Wii U's because Smash was first, and then Pokken came out, and they tried that. Now it's the other way around. Pokken's been out, people have been playing Pokken, some casually, some competitively. Now that when Smash comes out, that's going to be like, the second coming of Jesus, and everyone and their mother is going to be playing Smash. I'm going to be playing Smash, like real talk. I'm going to try it. I know everyone here is going to try it out as well. And the tricky part is maintaining our community, because there will be people who are going to, be cross-playing Smash and trying to bounce Pokemon as well. Mm-hmm. And what's going to be the hard part is maintaining our grassroots and our developing community and continue to seek growth, because one of the worst things you can do is just be like, I'm okay with the community. Yeah, I'm okay with this, or if it falls a little, that's fine, Mm-hmm. No, you should always look forward, always look up the mountain and keep climbing, and that's how we got to where we are today, And
that's how we survived.
Exactly. And if all of us collectively just had a slight thought of like, I don't want to make Pokemon content, I don't want to promote these tournaments this time, maybe the next tournament, that's really going to hurt our growth. And I'm just trying to be real here, but it's the truth. They're facts. It's going to happen, So it's up to, everyone to step it up a little, take some leadership, and continue to do things for Pokken while enjoying Smash, of course. You're not forced or have these crazy responsibilities or anything. Just keep doing you, but just be aware. Be more aware of what can happen, And it's also great, too, because, there will be a lot more switches at tournaments and stuff, but, you guys already mentioned it with cross-entry and stuff. All of us are going to enter Smash, and it's like, oh, we also play Pokken, too. You guys want to throw a Pokken in the tournament as well? And, it would just be easier access to get into the tournament. Regardless of them providing the resources or not, the hardest part is just getting Pokken into the tournament. And now that can be a lot more easier, because it's like, oh, all you guys are entering Smash, but all you guys are demanding Pokken as well, or requesting Pokken, I didn't know Pokken was going to be that big. And now we get to have a Pokken tournament, along with people who just strictly play Pokken. Like, oh, wow, now they have a Pokken event? I'm going to fight to the tournament just for Pokken, Mm-hmm. And it'll just be like a mini domino effect.
All right. I know you probably won't be able to answer this question, but I feel like I have to ask it anyways. What, we've probably all seen the Nintendo versus Twitter page. It's all Smash now. It used to be Splatoon, ARMS, Pokken. It's now Smash. You were there. You were the Pokken rep. So I have to ask. I mean, I know you probably won't answer, but what can you say, if anything, about that future relationship between sort of how Nintendo will treat Pokken with Smash existing on the Switch?
So, in terms of Nintendo versus?
Yeah, Nintendo versus.
Okay.
Esports-wise. I mean, I know it's already a tenuous kind of relationship because of
Pokemon companies. I get what you're
I know, but
what I'll tell you guys is Nintendo versus will continue to push all other Nintendo competitive games, such as ARMS, Splatoon 2, and Pokken Tournament DX, and they will do so to the best of their ability. All right. So sometimes when you see, oh, Nintendo versus isn't promoting as much Pokken as ARMS and Splatoon, trust me, they want to. They're trying. All right. They're trying, but sometimes things don't always go the way we want them to. All right. They want to promote all the games. Trust me. They really do. They have love for all competitive Nintendo games. And the reason they're changing all their themes is, purely to build the hype, because Smash Bros. Is literally Nintendo's biggest IP and franchise in Nintendo history, So they have to. It's their job. They gotta do it, And no one should feel discouraged that they took down the themes and took down Pokken and stuff. And look at today. They promoted Blastoise, right?
No, I know. I wasn't seriously saying them taking down the Twitter header is going to change how, it means they're done with every other game. It's just sort of
Yeah.
But
the future definitely is still bright. They are still going to strive to push and promote all competitive Nintendo games. So
okay.
I encourage everyone to show their support back, Like, if you tag Nintendo Versus, they may read it. All right? That's all I'm going to say. So
Right.
just show your support. Show your support for the game you love, whether it's Pokken or Mario Kart or Splatoon or ARMS or whatever, If there's like competition there and you like the game and it's Nintendo, show your love for it. Give Nintendo Versus a shout out. Right. Yeah, they know a lot more than you guys think. So
that was more of an answer than I was expecting. So thank you.
Mins with the
hard hitting last words there, McDareth.
I just wanted to add in, like, I liked what you said in the point of content. I think one thing that we really need to address eventually in the Pokken community is, like, say if someone searches, like, Pokken frame data. Like, when I tried this, it gave me, like, an SRK article. Like, it didn't go to Pokken Arena. It didn't go... It's like, whenever you search something with Pokken, it pulls up, like, a 2-year-old YouTube video that's outdated. It pulls up like some random article that's old. Like we need to find a way of making it much easier for people to just like even just Google search something about the game and get something relevant and recent, so they can get in and figure it out. So like content and things of that nature is definitely something like even I need to work on that too. So it's definitely a good point you brought up.
Yeah, I think I don't know because I don't make too much content myself, but I know effectively. Or I think I read somewhere, like, part of the reason for the Street Fighter V Arcade Edition, the fact that it was called Arcade Edition, was sort of to change, to, like, refresh Google algorithms, effectively, like, review algorithms. So, like, when you searched Arcade Edition, it'd be, like, a new... You'd only get, like, new things, rather than, like, you'd get all the older, like, Street Fighter content from launch. And so, like, do you know if that changes if you like put DX or like anything, like how that changes search results?
That I actually don't know, but that's another good point I want to bring up. Why is it still Pokken Tournament on Twitch? Why?
Yeah, I know it should be
Pokken
DX.
Tournament DX.
Well, I don't think it's Mario Kart DX either, which is weird. But I agree, it should be changed. That has bugged me since the beginning.
Yeah, that's the way thing about Google. Google's hard to manipulate. The formulas are... I've learned that with my business. But either way, the most important thing we can do is make sure the content is there and easy to find. Whether it's anytime we ever see someone looking for information, we guide them to the forums, we guide them to Pokken Arena, whatever we got to do, we got to make sure that people get the information they need and it's easy to find and easy to access. And I know that we're doing that, we're working for it, we're trying to promote as much as we can. We have guys like Allister going out and blasting the Discord server out to Canadian television. It's hard to control Google, but we can at least control where our information comes from and how accurate it is and whatnot. So I think that's a good point there as well. Anything else? Any of you guys last words there on this last Smash topic before we go into final events and last words?
Yeah, I do want to say something actually. A lot of you guys know this already, and some of you should actually know better. But if someone from another game shows that they dislike your game, just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
They have the right to have their own opinion. There's no reason for you to bash at their game or bash at them personally. Or try to fight back or come out with a counter argument or something. Just if they have their opinion, that's cool. They have their opinion. Leave how you feel about your game on the table, and it's up to them whether they should take it or not. All right? There's no reason to get into any heated arguments or anything, okay? Because you're representing us. Believe it or not, you are representing us. Everything you say, whether it's on Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, whatever, YouTube comment, Twitch chat, whatever you say represents me, Rudafuda, Mince, McDareth, everyone here watching the stream, everyone watching this video later on. Your words affect a lot more than you think. So just be a positive person. Just show your love for the game. And just have good vibes.
Yeah.
There you go.
That is.
I like it. Alrighty, my friends. Then let's hit up real quick what we got coming in the future. What should people look forward to? What events are coming up? Of course, NCR is coming up this weekend. this weekend. Not this weekend, a week from now. And after that, what else is happening? Let's run through the list of events.
Yeah. Oh, that same weekend, we got Respawn. We got the EU boys.
Yeah, huge shoutouts. And also, humongous shoutouts for the European community. They did a little fundraiser and they flew out Absoluted
Oh, really?
to Respawn. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Really sick of them. Shoutouts to them. Huge shoutouts to them.
Absoluted, one of the top European players.
Yeah, definitely.
So good.
So yeah, I hope they have fun. That's gonna be a really good tournament.
And then some more grassroots. We got Burnside Brawl, the one and only Burnside, the graphics maker, the Twitter man.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that, dude. That's like as grassroots as it gets because like
it's literally just an event in his house.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, because Burnside just recently moved, right? If I remember correctly, he was like, "Dude, I think I'm gonna throw a tournament in my house." I'm like, what? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a low-key, like 32 max people.
Yeah, I thought it was just going to be a small local, right? But then he wants to go all out. He created a legit graphic. He made the Smash GG and everything and advertised it. And
people are
really
flying out, man. You got Florida.
Awesome.
You got what, Bim and Kino like flying out, and Twixie, H2.
Yeah.
Like,
Dang.
it's crazy. This is just an event in his house. Like,
right. So I mean, that's how much people love Pokken. They're willing to hang out with friends and just see good play and have good times. So it's gonna be really awesome. I hope everyone watches that.
I'm gonna be there. It's gonna be like the first event I'm actually gonna be.
Oh, I hate you. I'm jealous.
It's too convenient.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
That's the same weekend. It's the 2GG Switch Fest, where it has like every Switch game. So Splatoon, Pokken, ARMS. There's like one other game that I'm missing.
Smash.
Oh, yeah, I guess Smash because it is 2GG. Yep. For some reason I thought there was like another Switch game.
Yeah, this tournament is pretty significant in my eyes as well because me and a couple of other people we've been always talking to 2GG and stuff in the past and trying to get Pokken in there, but sometimes it just didn't make it or sometimes it was inconvenient because they were busy with a lot of other events as well. They had huge plans for 2017 and 2018, as you guys see. And now it's finally, our chance to get in. And unfortunately, it's on the same weekend as Burnside Brawl, but to me, it's also like a good thing too, because we're not going to lie. A lot of things are in the East Coast. West Coast doesn't have too many events. I'm not going to lie. I'm always flying across the country. Always, And when we get an event in the West Coast, I'm celebrating. A lot of people in SoCal celebrating NorCal, Arizona, Utah, Oregon, Washington. There's a lot of players in the West Coast, believe it or not. And a lot of us are going to try our best to come out there and support it. It's going to be great. Pokken's going to be next to, great titles, and it's going to be on the Switch. So it's going to be an amazing event.
Yeah, this is another one of those events. Like I was waiting because GG, like they hinted at with Greninja Saga or Pokemon Saga when they're going.
Well, it was Greninja Saga, and then they couldn't do it, right?
No, it's Pokemon. It was Pokemon first, and they just made it Greninja.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around because they couldn't get the certain Greninja players at the right timing. So like, oh, what if we just make Pokemon Saga in general?
Yeah, because they're gonna do like whole Pokemon Saga, have Pokken, all this stuff, and they just dialed it back. And it's like, yeah, we'll do Pokken at a later date. And now it's finally happening, but it's traditional 2GG MO of we're gonna announce it's a month out. So good luck.
What can you do? Well, at least it's happening.
Yeah,
If you can't go to the event, just try your best to go. You show our support, and we need to leave a really good impression.
And then in June, another classic, DreamHack Austin. It's third year, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be really awesome.
I know there's a bunch of people going out to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try my best to go out to that because like DreamHack Austin is a special place in my heart because that was my first major.
It's the first competitive event in America.
Major in NA, so that was legendary. That was a historical event. That was, to me, that's what marks the anniversary of competitive Pokken. That right there, DreamHack Austin, because that was the first major. That was the first time everyone met each other. That's the first time everyone was grinding up for this first event. Everyone's first event. There were a lot of nerves. There's a lot of confidence. There was a lot of swords clashing. it was an amazing event. So I'm really hyped for this one.
Nice.
So this for me is like I feel the same way, even though I wasn't there. Like I remember this was the event I watched that actually made me want to get more into Pokemon. I was playing it and streaming it, but then watching here like Austin was like what made me want to go out and start competing in tournaments for it. And really more in the community.
I remember the weekend this happened. It was like what the first Pokken Kanto tournament happened like the night before.
Yeah,
so
that was...
for me it was like 24 hours of just like straight Pokken, and I was like, this is amazing. I love that. That was such a good start to like the competitive season. And then lastly we got Pokemon Internationals, Columbus, Ohio.
I want to go to that so bad.
It's
gonna be stacked.
Really interesting to go back there. I hope I'm gonna be able to go back there. It's gonna be interesting to be back. I really hope we're not in the same like sort of side room. Like I hope this time we're actually like in the main event. But Ohio was pretty cool when I was there last time. Like that's a pretty like if you go in the right direction, because something about Columbus, Ohio is that if you go like one direction, it's just a dead city at like 5 p.m. because everything closes. But if you go in the other direction, it's lit. But yeah, no, it was like a really cool event. I'm really kind of happy we're back there. It'd be cool to see how they've improved. I'm really looking forward to that. That was like, well, that was like the first big event that I traveled to. So that for me is like a lot of nostalgia to it. And I just like, it's gonna be stacked. So many good, like everyone, all these All-American players. Suika Matthews coming back. He's training up. Probably have like all South, like Florida's coming back and back into it. It's gonna be the return of the old guard. It's gonna be such a throwback. It's gonna be awesome. New versus old. Like there's gonna be so many like awesome things, like storylines going into that. And this is the only North American event, so top 4 qualify. It's gonna be hype.
Oh,
that's about it.
4. Okay, good.
Yeah. For North America and Europe, it is top 4.
All right.
But yeah, it's gonna be so hype. It is gonna be so good. And that's it for events, upcoming events. Again, I guess we can say Worlds, but we don't. Well, I guess we do know the date, right?
Yeah, it's.
They announced that on their Facebook, not on their website.
The middle or the near the mid or end of August.
Yeah, I think it's like the second to last week of August. But yeah,
something to look forward to in the kind of nearish future.
Yeah, it's happening, and LCQ will be there, and that's gonna be a bloodbath. And should be awesome.
But regardless, if there is any event that you can attend, of course, we always recommend go to any event you can. If you've never once been to a major or regional, it is the greatest experience you'll ever have within a video game community. The big events, we get to meet everybody face to face. You get to play with them, you get to hang out with them, all that jazz. Of course, Pokemon players love to eat too. You get to go to nice. What do we go to, Allister, when you're here? We went to that burger place. That place was great. Sat outside. I don't know, man. They had the good burgers.
Hot Dotties.
Yeah!
Hot Dotties. Yeah, that place was, it was awesome. That place is
awesome. You get good food, you meet good people. Always a lot of fun. You always get stories to tell. And of course, if you have gone before, you know what it's all about. Go support the game, go support, and go, of course, show up, man. I mean, we were talking at the very beginning, players like Slippenbug and all the big players that don't get to travel out a lot. Like, we want to see you guys, and not just the guys that are always winning. We want to see the guys that don't get to show up a lot. That's why all these community things are happening. We want to get the people that can't go out to go out. So if you possibly can, that would be awesome. And in the great words of Allister, we like when cool stuff happens. And no, what was it? Cool stuff can happen, and I like it when cool stuff happens. So if you can make it to a tournament, please go. And of course, the biggest thing ever, support your locals, support your streamers, support the content, and spread the good word of Pokken. Sounds like we're a cult at this point, but we're just a chant away from.
Wait, we're not.
Wait, we're not. Oh yeah, who knows? But that's kind of all I got. Alistair, again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
We'll leave on your last words. Do you have any last words for the Pokken community, to your sponsors, to anybody that you might want to say a shout out to, or again, like your last words for the great people here on the Ferrum Heights Pokken podcast?
Yeah, I'll throw in some plugs. Shout out to Set to Destroy X, great organization, my sponsor. Everyone check them out. Canada's #1 esports team. Shout out to Nintendo. You know, they're just Nintendo. You guys already know Nintendo. The Switch is amazing. Great titles. Check them out. Great peripherals as well. Pokken Tournament DX is great. If you haven't gotten the chance to get the DLC, get it because you will not regret it. Blastoise, you just slash, and there's so much more than what's advertised. It's really great, and yeah, just treat each other well.
There you go. Alrighty, my friends. Well, without further ado, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a great time. I've had a lot of fun. It's been a while since I've been on here. And I will be attending some events very soon, as well as a new event coming back. And an even more new event in SoCal happening most likely. Information on that, if you want information on what streams I'll be a part of in SoCal, you can follow Inimura on Twitter, or you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Rudafuda. But what I will tell you is there's a lot more SoCal tournaments coming back and coming up, and will most likely be attached over there with Inimura. So if you want the newest inside scoop on SoCal Pokken, follow the Inimura guys. They're pretty cool. And that's all I got. Any last words, you two? Or I think you two? I don't know what the layout is.
If you plug in your Twitter.
I don't know. Let's see. I don't think I'll be able to make it to the last Neo City Brawl local, so unfortunately that's a problem. But I'm gonna, I already said I'm going to Brentstead Brawl. That's gonna be, I'm gonna be so hyped for that. Hopefully, I'll be able to commentate. I think I'm commentating at least something there. Hopefully, me and Burnside holding it down on the mic. That's gonna be hype. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then the other big event that I'm really trying to focus for is Nationals. See if I can go to that, and then yeah, that's kind of it for me. There's a few other smaller projects I'm working on of just collecting data, but that's neither here nor there. Follow me on Min's Pokken, Min's Pokken. I got my Twitter and Twitch mixed up there for a second. Min's Pokken on Twitter, Mins.__. I'm gonna stream tomorrow. Fun fact. Actually gonna do it after a year of not streaming.
Sick.
I'll eventually get back into it.
Never too late.
Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, that's me.
All right, McDareth, you got anything before we close it out, my man?
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. You can follow me at McDareth on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. I don't have Instagram or anything else, so just hit those up. But thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Last one is up. It's unlisted, but it's up finally. I fell behind, and this one will be up shortly after. So thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed everything you've heard here. And thank you, Allister, again for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. It was a pleasure. I'd like to plug in my Twitter as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Go ahead, please.
My Twitter is something you can find out if you join the Discord, which is discord.gg/Pokken, or you can message me on the website, PokkenArena.com. So if you guys just join any of those two, you can find me there, and you can find out my Twitter.
The advanced plug. I see it.
This man is on the next level.
Respect. Respect.
All right,
McDareth. Close us out, my friend. Thank you, everybody, again for joining us. I'll see you next time.
Hey, bye, everyone.
See ya.